Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I want to say a very big thank you to all of my subscribers. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like my video, share my video, and you are very free to ask any questions regarding sewing. Actually today I'm going to be teaching you how to cut a slitted long ball gown. A slitted one is actually in vogue now. It's going to be pleated at the waist part, and it's going to be having a slit at the either right side or left side, depends on what you want, with a high neck. That's what I'm going to be cutting today. This is the fabric. This is actually 6 yards, so because of time I actually cut out a part of it that I'm going to be using for this video. What I actually did is the measurement I'm going to be working with today is the bust is 42, the breast point is 11-14. This is what is breast point. This is the breast point, and then this is the under bust. So most times when we measure, we write breast point. Breast point is here and here. That is what makes it. This is the breast point, which is the nipple. Then the under bust, that's just below the breast. Then the tummy area, which is the waist, I'm going to be using 40 inches. That's where I'm actually going to be cutting from, because I'm not going to be cutting directly from under the bust. I'll be cutting from this part, which is the waist. The shoulder is actually 17, while the full length of the gown is 60. Then the half cut, I'm going to be making use of 16 inches for it. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So first, you begin by folding your fabrics into two. I've actually cut it out and indicated some lines on it. What I have here, like I told you, I said the half cut is 16 inches. The 16 inches, this is the 16 inches. Then I added 2 inches as my allowance, so the full length that I have now is 18 inches. I folded my fabric at 17 inches. That's for the first one. This is the back piece. I'm using 1 inch as my seam allowance for the back piece because of the zipper at the back. I folded at 17, like I said. And how did I come to fold it at 17? You use the biggest part of your measurement to divide it, which is 42 inches. When you divide 42 into 4, you have 10.5. So 10.5, I now added 6 inches to it. So that's how I got it. I just approximated it and left it at 17 inches. You can decide to use 4 inches, you can use 5 inches, depends on what you want. Most times I don't always like running into problems, so I normally add excess allowance when I'm cutting like this. So that's the reason. Then for this part, like I told you, I said the breast point is 11 and this is 14. I left half an inch on top for as the same allowance, so you can see it. This is the 11 inch here, and then the 14 inch. So this is 11, this is 14. So now I'm going to be inserting my measurement into this fabric. So the first thing I'll begin with is the shoulder. I told you that the shoulder is 17 inches. For this type of bust here, I'm going to be doing the shoulder dart. That's the cut of the cut is going to be coming from the top down. So I'll use, her shoulder is supposed to be 8 inches, but the part of the shoulder, a part of the shoulder is going to be taking a part of it. Okay, for this shoulder dart bust here, the up part I'll be making use of 7 inches for the top. This is 7 inches. Her bust span is actually 8 inches, so I'll add half inch to it. It will be 4.5. You divide into 2 for beginners. So I'll bring it down to the under bust line and measure 4.5 here, and then measure 4.5 here also, and then I'll connect my lines from this down one to this up one. I'll just connect like this. If you have a ruler, you can make use of a ruler, but it's not very straight, so it's slanted. So I'll just take it like this. You can see it's not very straight. Then from the shoulder line, I'll measure 2 inches again. This is for the dart now. This part now, this is the dart, because I'm going to be cutting this part out. So this is like the dart of this shoulder dart bust here. So I'll use 2 inches here. This is the dart. Then for here, I'll use 1. You can use 1 inch, you can use 1 1/4, so it depends here. Then for the under bust part, I'll use 3 inches. You can use 2.5. So it should be between 2.5 inches and 3 inches. I've been using this way and it has been working for me. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be drawing my line like this from this top point like this. I'll take it straight like this and then take my curve down here like this and then bring it down. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So my curve is actually going to be starting from here like this, because this is the nipple point, this point. As you can see, the curve, and this comes down straight, and then this goes up like this to join to my 2-inch up here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll cut it out. I'll cut this part out. So I'll just take my, I'm not going to be cutting the back, note. I'm not cutting the back yet. I'm cutting separately. So I'll take it like this. So this middle piece now, this is like the dart. So it's cut out already. So I'll bring back the back and then place now to get my full measurement. I'll place this middle part like this and then take this part and place, I'll place like this part first and then place this one on top of it. Make sure your lines are accurate. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be taking out the full measurement now. So for the full measurement, initially I told you, I said the shoulder is 17 inches. When you divide into 2, you have 8.5. So I'll take my tape like this and have 8.5 here. I'll use 1 inch as my seam allowance, just 1 inch. Then from this point, I'll measure 8 inch for my armhole line. I'll just make a curve like this. Then from this armhole line, I'll measure the bust, which is 10.5 inches. When you divide 42 into 4, you have 10.5. So I have this is my 10.5 inches here. Because I'm going to be sewing and turning from inside, so I'll use 3.5 inches as my seam allowance. Because I'm not going to be weaving it, so I'll sew and turn. So I'll use 3.5. If I was going to weave it, I can use 2 inches. I can even use 1 inch. So this is it. Then for the down part, which is the waist area, I told you initially, I said the waist, I'm going to be using 40 inches. So when you divide 40 into 4, you have 10 inches. So this is my 10 inches here. And then I'll still maintain my 3.5 seam allowance. So I'll just take it like this and then rule and then bring down. So for the back, for the back part, the darts of the back, like I always say in most of my videos, you can decide to do your normal regular waist dart. You just hold and just sew from the inside. But mine, I actually wanted to have a straight dart running from the top down to the bottom. So for the back dart, I'll just take my tape like this and maintain this point, which is this 6 inches here, and then bring to this point also. And for the top part, I'll use 7 inches. So I'll just take my chalk like this and join my lines together. You can decide to make use of a ruler if you want to. If you want it to be accurate. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll cut out. This is like my back dart. Remember to put your notch here for your 1 inch zipper allowance. Then most times what I normally do, because I don't want a budge, I normally take my tape like this. I'll measure 1/2 inch and just take it up like this woman from this side this is something I've been trying. It has been working for me. So most times, not even most, I never get a bulge in any of my dresses because of this. So I'll just cut it out like that. So for the neck design, actually I'm going to be cutting a high neck. This is the middle piece. This is actually the middle piece. This is the side. You can see the bust is out, and then this is the back. So I'll take it now to my ironing table. I'll cut my lining. This is the lining. I'll cut my lining. I'll cut my soft gum stay. I'll iron the soft gum stay on the fabric and then on the lining. You can decide to make use of hair stay, both for the back and the front. And then I'll actually sew. I'll actually couple it before I'll come back to show you. And if you want, if you start sewing, actually start sewing from the down. For this one, you actually start sewing from the down, from this down part. You sew like this from this down part and then take it up. You sew also from this down part and then take it up. So then I'll come back and do the neck, because the neck is actually going to be a high neck with an opening here. So I need to get everything ready. If not, I would have just, if it was just a simple neck, I would have just opened it up. But I'll iron it first and come back and cut the neck and then the down part. Okay, welcome back, guys. As you can see, I finished sewing it. I took, like I said, I took it to my ironing table and ironed soft stay on it, and then the chest pad on it. So like I told you initially, I actually started sewing from the down. You start sewing from the down part. For this bust here, you actually start sewing. You just place on top and you hold together like this. You can see, just hold the two edges together and place on your machine, and then you just sew. As you sew like this, you just take your hand like this and then sew to the top, and then do the same thing to the other side. Then the back, like I was telling you, that this regular dart, you can see this is the dart, and you can see it's running from the top to the down part. It's sewn from the inside. So that's it for this. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be taking out the measurement for the neck and then the full body measurement. So I'll fold it like this and then bring the back piece together. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be measuring out the neck for this dress. So I'll use 3 inches, 3.5 inches for the neck like this. And then from this 3.5 inches, like I always say in most of my videos, you can actually measure. I want it to be high neck. So I want the neck to be high. So I'm actually going to be using 4 inches. I'll take it like this and measure 4 inches. Because I'm going to be using lining to turn it, I'll make it 3.5. So the 3.5 inches will not take it will not make it to be complete up to 4 inches. I'll use it as, because if I should leave it at 4 inches, when I sew, it will come to 4.5 inches. So that's why I decided to leave it at 3 inches when you sew, because you'll be turning with a lining, it will not get to 4 inches. So I'll just take it like this and then open the back. Just maintain the same line for the back. Then for the back neck, I'll use 3 inches. And then I'll cut out like this. Then for the front also. Then for my shoulder slant, I'm going to be slanting my shoulder by 1 inch here from this point here. Okay, before then, let me measure the full shoulder measurement. Like I told you initially, I said our shoulder is 17, so which is 8.5. This is the 1 inch allowance for the zipper at the back. So I'll just take it like this and measure 8.5 inches, sorry. So I'm just left with like 1/2 inch, so I'm good to go. So from here, from this point now, I'll take it like this. Measure 1 inch here. And then I'll slant my shoulder from here, from this point. I'll slant it to this point. Just slant it like this. I'll take my scissors like this. So it's just half an inch that is remaining. So I'll use the half an inch as my seam allowance. Then for the bust, like I told you initially, the bust is 42. When you divide into 4, you have 10.5. So I'll take my tape like this and then put it like this on top. I have, this is my 10.5 inches. And then from this point, I'll use 3 inches. I'll still maintain my 3 inches because I'll be sewing and turning. So I'll use 3 inches. Then for the down part, which is the stomach area, which is we call the waist. The waist is actually 40. So I'll use 10. When you divide 40 into 4, you have 10 inches. This is 10 inches. So I have 3. So I can still make use of 2.5, or you can still maintain the 3 inches. So I'll just take it like this. So this is how you shape to your actual size. And then the length. Most times, and then the length. So I still have, so the length is 16 inches, and then I have the extra for the allowance at the down part. So this is off. Then for the lining, all you have to do is take your lining like this, the back piece, and place on this like this, and then you measure. Make sure it's accurate. You can see a little piece is remaining. This is for the back. This is for the back. And then for the front piece, you take it like this. Also place like this on top of it. Make sure everything is accurate. So I'm just left with this part. So I'll cut it out. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be cutting the down part for this dress. That's the pleated part that is going to be slanted. So that I'm going to be cutting it. So I already cut out, because of time, I already cut out 2 yards and 24 inches of fabric from my fabric. This is 2 yards and 24 inches. That's what I cut out. That's what I'm going to be pleating. I'll separate it into 2. Pleat the front piece here, and then make the slants for you. Sorry, make the slit for you. So you can see what I mean. So I'll take this part now, this piece. Like I told you, I said it's just straight. I didn't cut out any parts. I just left it straight like that. Since it's pleated. So I'll just open it from the side and take one piece for the front. So this piece, this is for the front piece. So I'm going to be pleating it here now. So for me to do it accurately, I'll just take my fabric like this. I'll take the dress like this and then make a notch here at the center. I'll make a notch here and then take my fabric also. That's the down part of my fabric. And then I'll make a notch here also. So I'm actually going to start pleating from here. So I'll take it like this. You see, I don't want it to be big pleats, so it's just tiny pleats. I'll take it like this and then use my pins. So I can now start from this side and start pleating to meet those points. So I'll just take it like this and then plait like this. So as you can see, I finished pleating it. So the next thing I'm going to be inserting, you can see it. So all I have to do now is just take it to my machine like this, and then you sew from those points like this. Sew along a straight line. Make sure that your hand is very straight. So like I said, this is trendy slitted gown. You can see the front. So when you're done, after sewing, you just take it and then you iron. So the next thing I'm going to be inserting, and you can see it's already looking so beautiful. The next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be inserting the trendy slit on it, on this ball gown. If you want yours to be fuller, you can increase the width of this fabric, of the down part of the fabric. So before I insert the slit on it, like I told you initially, the full length of the gown is 60 inches. And you remember that this half part was actually 16 inches. So for you to get the full 60 inches of your gown, depends on your gown, you can use 50, depends on the person's height. For this one, like I told you, I said 60 inches. So when you subtract 16, that which is this up part, when you subtract 16 from 60 inches, you have 44. Actually, the length of this Ankara, the full length of normal Ankara, they are usually 45 inches. So that was why I just used the Ankara without cutting any part. But if your length is shorter, you can always reduce the length of what you are adding to the top to make it, to give you your complete length. So like I said, so the next thing is I'm going to be inserting my slit. To insert the slit on this dress now, all you have to do is you choose to put it on the left side or on the right side. But for mine, I actually choose to put it on this right hand side of the dress. So I'm going to be maintaining the dart line. That is actually what I'm going to be doing. I'll maintain the dart line downwards like this. So you can see this is actually the dart line down. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, it depends on how long you want your slit to be. This one actually depends on what you want. Mine, I actually don't want it to be too slitted. I don't want it to actually get to the thigh. You know, some people, they actually get it up to the thigh part. So mine, I think I'll just get it up to the knee area. So for me to get to the knee part, I'll measure from the shoulder. I'll always measure the person. I'll measure from the shoulder, and her knee is actually 40. Her knee is actually 40. Her knee is actually 40, so I'll make it a little down below the knee. So since her knee is 40 inches, I'll just take it like this. I'll take it like this and make it 42. I'll make it 42 inches. I'll measure it here like this. I'll stop it here at 42. So now I'll follow this part. You can decide to make use of a long ruler, but since my pleat is already showing me the line, I'll just make use of my pleat line like this. So this is actually my 42. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be slitting from this point. I'll split it and stop at this point. While I'm slitting, like I said, you can choose to slit the way you want it. Depends on how long you want it to be. You know, these trendy slits, they're actually in vogue now. So when I get to this point, I'll actually stop. I'll stop. This is where I made my notch. I'll stop. I'm not going to be cutting anything out from this slit. I'm not trimming anything out. What I'll do now, when I go to my machine, this is actually what I'll do. I'll just take it like this. The lining I'm going to be putting, the lining is going to be reaching this point. It's not going to be a long lining. I just put a short lining up to this point here, because I don't want the lining to be coming out from the slit. So I'll take it to my machine like this and just turn it like this. And then just place on my machine like this. This is what actually I'm going to be doing. And then sew with a matching thread. You can see I just fold like this and then sew, like I told you, I'll sew with a matching thread machine and just fold like this. This is actually what I'm going to be doing. You just fold to this point and then do the same thing to this point. You make use of a matching thread. That is actually how I'm going to be doing it now on my machine. So I'll do the same thing with the back, and then when I'm done I'll come and show you. So I've actually come to the end of this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, like my video, share my video. If you actually like what I've done with this video, please don't hesitate to hit on the like button, like, and then subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.